Hey everybody, it's Beth. Welcome to Infinite Garden. Today is almost the 1 year anniversary of starting my channel. In this last year, although my channel's small, I feel like it's pretty mighty. I've had over 66,000 views, and as of today I have, I think, 578 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. It means the world to me. I wanted to share today how I started my channel with zero know-how. I remember for years I was watching people on YouTube and I was wondering, how do all of these people who seem like, people just like me, how do they do this? I don't have the faintest idea. So I want to tell you how I started with zero experience, zero skills, and zero equipment to having a small but mighty channel. I'm also going to talk a little bit about my goals for my channel in 2022. If that sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned. First, I want to start with why I started my channel. Primarily, I love YouTube. For over 10 years, I have gone to YouTube to look for advice on how to care for my curly hair, how to prune a rose of Sharon hibiscus plant, how to make minor repairs to things around my home. I love YouTube, and I've always wanted to start my own channel. And it was when I began my gray hair transition journey that I was relying heavily on YouTube for the Silver Sister community to see images of other women who'd gone ahead so I could get my courage up, and also to hear from women about their perspective. It gave me a lot of strength and courage to move forward with my own gray hair transition. And now that I'm almost 2 years after that process, I'm so glad I did it, and I'm glad that my channel has provided some inspiration and some of that same support to other women on the same journey. So that's the why of why I started it. But just having a subject isn't enough. A huge part of what keeps me going and the why is developing this community. I want to give special thanks to some of the folks who have been frequent commenters and supporters of my channel. It's because of you that I've been able to keep going as much as I have. So special shout outs to Louise, Elaine, and JWB and Heather, and I'm going to put some other images of comments up there. You folks have been amazing for me. I've also been really excited to see some of the work of other Silver Sisters that I've gotten to know better. Tessie's channel, Unfolding with Grace, is amazing, and I love Catherine Hopkins from Catherine Hopkins Designs Life, and I love My So-Called Reality. There's a million of you folks out there that I love, but I just wanted to say that these other people who've contributed to the community are part of what keeps all of this going. So I wanted to also say thank you for that. So first, let's talk about equipment. When I started my channel, I didn't even have my own laptop at home. At work, I use a HP laptop, and that was what I was comfortable with. So I needed to buy one for myself. So I went to Costco and I got an HP Pavillion. I was directed to this by the tech guy at Costco, who said that this was a good one for what I was planning to do. I told him I wanted to make videos to upload to YouTube and absolutely nothing else on this laptop, and this is the one he suggested. I think I paid, I can't remember, it was between $600 and $700. In terms of my camera, I use a Logitech webcam, and the reason I even have this is entirely due to the coronavirus pandemic. In March 2020, when I had to start working from home, I had literally never worked from home a day in my life. The type of work that I do has always been the type that requires being in the office. It's just the mindset, it's a little more old school. So I'd never attended a virtual meeting, and I didn't know where to begin. I'd never been on Zoom. When I went on Zoom for the first time, I realized my work laptop, the camera worked okay, but my microphone didn't, and I couldn't get it enabled for anything. So I went on Amazon and I bought myself a Logitech webcam, and I paid coronavirus panic prices. So the webcam that I use is currently available on Amazon for around $70. I think I paid 3 times as much for it because of the pandemic crush, but that's what I'm using, and it works pretty well, I think. I don't have the ability to really maneuver. So one of the things I would like to do is get a better camera that's more traditional, that more traditional YouTubers use, so I can kind of like move around and go outside and do other kinds of stuff. This webcam is attached to my laptop, so it really only works when I'm sitting in front of my laptop looking into the camera. You can put it on a tripod too, and I suppose you could put it into a hard drive. So maybe I could use it a little more flexibly than I do, but I have found this to be a super high quality webcam, and for that purpose, I can record a video and put it up on YouTube. My webcam has a microphone enabled in it, and that works okay, but I never really liked the sound very much. So I did upgrade to an external microphone, and I did go ahead and get one of these Yeti microphones. If you guys, these are super popular with kind of I guess maybe with YouTubers, but for sure with podcasters. It's nice, you can adjust the gain to see how much outside noise you want to pick up, and you can set it so you're either directionally, just like one direction coming into the camera to the microphone, or you can have it so there's someone on the other side so it picks up on both sides. It's a pretty good microphone. They're about $100. And then I also at some point had to pick up a hard drive because these files can be kind of big, and so it's helpful to have an outside storage from your laptop. Again, this HP Pavillion wasn't designed to hold a ton of video files, so an external hard drive was necessary. I picked one up for about $100. And then finally, I got some little lighting help. So I did pick up an adjustable ring light on a tripod. I've got that on right now. This is what it looks like from the outside. You can adjust the lighting to be kind of warm or cool or mimicking sunlight, and you can adjust the height. I think it's pretty great. It has a little attachment for the cell phone, so you can also mount your iPhone there. And that is the other thing, I do sometimes use my iPhone. So if you look at my videos and you see sometimes I'll include some B-roll of like nature or whatever. In almost every case, that's an image that I captured with my iPhone. I have an iPhone 11 and I don't have the Pro version. I have the kind of like standard version, and I chose the color yellow because I like that color very much. So altogether, with my equipment so far, I think I've spent about $1,000. I love this equipment, and it's the only stuff that is really specific to my channel that I wouldn't find useful otherwise. I think is this microphone. This is really specific to the channel. And the ring light for the most part. I don't know that I would use it much, but it's not bad to have one of those around. But otherwise, whether or not I have a channel, I need a laptop, and for work, I've really needed this webcam. I use it every single day that I work from home now. So that's been a lifesaver. That I did pay with my own money and didn't ask for reimbursement just so I could keep it and use it for my channel. So that's equipment, but for me, the biggest obstacle was software. I had literally never once edited a digital video in my life. When I was in high school, I remember taking some photography classes where we did some video editing, but it was like from a cassette, from a VHS cassette. So I had some minor concept about video editing, but in terms of digital video editing, I was a complete noob. So what I did is I looked on some listicles to see what were good photo editing software suites. And it was recommended that I try Cyberlink's Power Director. And they have an option that's called 365 where you pay a one-time subscription annually. It's $74.99, at least it was this last time for me. And that gets you an annual subscription to the software. So this is the type of software where you download a widget onto your computer and you get updates that it constantly refreshes. So they have like new stock photo and stock video footage that loads up, and you can access that as part of your membership. They also improve things like title options and background music and other kinds of effects that you can go to. I don't make full use of it, but every once in a while I go in. So far this has been a useful software to me. However, when I got it, I was entirely overwhelmed. Like I said, I'd never done video editing before, and this is not necessarily intuitive. So I went to YouTube and I looked up how to use Power Director. And so I want to give a big shout out to Malik from Power Director University. He's the guy. If you watch the early videos that I posted a year ago or in like January, February, compared to the ones I've been posting lately, you may notice that there's been an increase in sophistication of my editing. That's entirely due to Malik's tutelage. He is fun to watch, he is funny, and he's just absolutely excellent. So I had to both buy the software and learn how to use it. But fortunately, the way the world is set up now, you can really help yourself if you're inclined that way. And I've always been the kind of person who can work. I like to work my way through things when I'm trying to learn something. That works for me. I understand it might not work for everybody, but it did work for me. I also make heavy use of the Google Suite. So I use Google Drive to store certain clips. So like if I shoot some B-roll or like nature shots with my iPhone, I generally will upload them to Drive, and from Drive I'll download them back into my program. I make my thumbnails on Google Slides. This is a program that, if you're familiar with PowerPoint, it's a pretty good analog. It doesn't do everything that Microsoft PowerPoint does, but it was easy for me to make that leap. I use PowerPoint in my work life almost on a daily basis to brief senior executives. I know that probably the best place to make a thumbnail is, I'm sure it's Adobe Pro, but I don't have any experience with that and I don't have that software. But Google Slides was part of my Google Suite. It was free to me and I've been able to work with it. My thumbnails could definitely stand some improvement, but so far Google Slides has been good, partly because it's perfectly sized for YouTube. When I make like transitions between my videos like this, I can just go to Google Slides and download one of those pages in, and it drops right into my video editing. It's the perfect size for this, and the Google Slides work perfectly as thumbnails for YouTube. It's just because it's all the same product. So although maybe that isn't the most sophisticated, it is what I have been using. And finally, in terms of software, I shoot all of my videos in the camera mode on my laptop. So if you go to your HP laptop, there's a search bar and you can just type camera and it turns on your computer's camera. You can record right there. That's what I use. In terms of my process, I keep track of the ideas that I have in the Notes app on my iPhone. And as I complete a video, I put a check mark on it. So for the most part, that's where I just store ideas as they come to me. From there, I use a simple planner to get an idea of when I'm going to, post things. I've got my idea through January of what I'm going to post. This is a lovely planner that came with my Nature Conservancy donation. So if those of you are looking for end of year donations or someone to support in 22, I can't say enough about the value of the Nature Conservancy, and I love their little planner, so it's fun to use this one. I also have, I've got this right in front of me, I have a big fat notebook. I got this at Target, and I write out my notes. So like for this video today, I've got my notes right here on what I wanted to make sure that I covered in this video. So it's really kind of old school. The notes feature on the iPhone, I guess, is a little bit of like a new tech thing, but otherwise I'm using a paper calendar and a paper notebook to organize my time and to organize my thoughts. So I shoot on the weekends, usually on Saturday or Sunday, depends on what I'm doing. If I have some plans on Saturday night, sometimes I'll get myself ready earlier and then shoot my video on Saturday and then maybe start editing and then finish editing on Sunday. That's pretty common. Or if my Saturday is super busy, then I shoot and edit on Sunday, which can take a lot of the day. The shooting part can take about an hour, but then the editing process usually takes 2 to 3 hours. So for those of you who kind of keep track of my posting schedule, I generally speaking post as soon as my video is edited. I don't do a lot of front loading. I've done it a couple of times when I knew I was going on vacation or I'd be away. But for me personally, my work life, my jobby job is full-time and extremely demanding, and leaves no wiggle room at all for me to do anything during the week, even really think about my channel very much. So pretty much everything I do is on the weekends, and it usually takes about, I would say 4 to 5 hours in total to make a video every week. So that's how I started my channel. After 1 year, I've had about 66,000 views. I have 578 subscribers as of today, and I've published 42 videos. I think this video here will be my 42nd video. I'm very proud of how hard I've worked on this. When I started the channel, I hoped that in 2021 I would make 22 videos. That was my goal. And this, like I said, will be my 42nd video this year. So I smashed that goal. So I have some goals for 2022. My number one goal for 2022 is to continue to improve the quality of each video that I put out. This is something I've been focused on in 2021, and I finally feel like my skills have improved to the point where I can really see this through. Number two, I hope to publish 50 videos. This year I did 42, and that was way above what I expected to do at 22. So I'm hoping I can maybe push that a little bit and break the 50 barrier. Like I said, I'd like to have more than 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year 2022. I'd also like to do more collabs in 2022. I did one with Catherine Hopkins about the Nordstrom Trunk Club,
And I horned in on another one that Catherine and Tessie and a group of other women did called Why Aging is the New Cool. But I myself would like to do some more collabs in this next year. So for those of you who have your channels, check in with me. And if you're thinking about starting one, check in with me then too if you get started. So that's how I did it. That's how I went from zero knowledge, skills, and equipment to having a mighty little small channel that I'm really looking forward to continuing to grow in 2022. If you're out there and you've thought about starting your own channel, but you feel intimidated by what you don't have or what you don't know, I was hoping this video might provide some inspiration to give it a shot. You might be surprised by what you can learn and how fun it is. I had never edited a video before, and now it's honestly one of my favorite parts of the process. I was most intimidated by it, and now I absolutely love doing it. I hope this inspires at least one person to start a YouTube channel. If you have any other questions, let me know. Also, if you have any recommendations about a great camera that I should be looking at for this, let me know. I've been reading articles, I've gone shopping a couple of times, and I personally feel really overwhelmed by what kind of camera I should get. So I'm all ears from anybody about what I should be looking at. Please be on the lookout for new videos for me in the year 2022. And thank you so much for all of the love and support that you have shown me in my first year on YouTube. It's been a blast. I've loved it so much. You guys are the best. Anyway, I hope you're having a great week ahead. Thank you so much. Talk soon.